As January 1st comes and we are setting our New Year's resolutions, we think there's no way I'm gonna let another year go by and not do my best to change some aspects of my life and actually follow through with my goals. But then sometime mid-February, beginning of March, we completely forget about our New Year's resolutions and just continue life as usual as all the years before. And you're probably watching this video because you don't want that to happen again. You're ready for actual change, but you need tools, you need guidance, and you need help. And there's science when it comes to setting your goals effectively and taking the steps necessary to follow through and actually achieve those goals. In this video, I've put together a step-by-step formula inspired from world-renowned experts and authors and speakers. I've gathered their knowledge and ideas through books, articles, podcasts, and put it in a very simple to understand formula. And I can guarantee that if you follow this, you will achieve your 2024 goals. Before we dive in, go ahead and subscribe and like this video. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new to this channel and you're like, what is this all about? On this channel, I talk about how to glow up financially. I will give you tools, resources, information, knowledge, skills, habits, literally everything you need to become financially free early on in life. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and subscribe. Okay, let's do this. I don't know about you guys, I'm fully in this festive mood already. I even put on the same outfit that I wore last year on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, not sure. And I'm just like feeling it. I'm ready for the holidays. I'm gonna start Christmas shopping sometime this week. And I'm making this video for you guys early December to give you guys time to prepare, do the homework necessary, and set yourself up for success. Let's begin with the basics of setting goals. This is where we start. Maybe you already know how to effectively set goals, good for you. But if you don't, watch this part. It's really, really important. This is where you become crystal clear on what it is that you want to focus on in the next 12 months and substantially improve those aspects of your life. When I set goals, I follow the SMART formula, where every letter of the word stands for something. So let's begin with S. S stands for specific. When you're setting goals, you gotta be specific about what it is that you want. When I hear people talk about their New Year's resolutions, they might say things like, I wanna lose weight, I wanna make more money, I wanna travel more. But the problem with this type of goals is that it's not specific enough. More can be as little as $1. You say you want to make more money. Are you actually going to be happy if you're making just $1 more next year compared to the last year? Probably not. Same with losing weight. Do you want to lose 5 pounds or 50 pounds? And you're going to approach this process of hitting this goal totally differently. Try to be as specific as possible when setting your goals. And don't set too many goals. I recommend choose 2 or 3 aspects of your life that you really, really want to change in a big way, and maybe 2 or 3 that you're gonna change in a small way. If you set too many big goals, you're gonna get overwhelmed and not know where to put your energy into. So ideally, you could, for example, let's say in the next year you want to improve 2 aspects of your life in a big way. Let's say it's money and health. So you're gonna write something like, I want to create more income streams or achieve $10,000 a month consistent revenue. That is a great example of a specific money goal. And then for your health goal, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds and you just want to look more toned up and with more muscles. So you're going to write that down. And ideally, I would also include 2 or 3 pictures as inspiration, a visual reminder of what you are working towards. Once you have set your big goals, choose 2 or 3 smaller goals that you're also going to be working towards in the next year. For example, those could be, I want to learn more things in the next year, so I'm going to read 20 books or 30 books. Or another one could be that you want to feel better about yourself on a daily basis. So you could sign up for therapy or spend more time around people who make you feel good about yourself. Little things like that. Moving on, next letter is M, that stands for measurable. Once you have set your specific goals, make sure that they're actually measurable. If your goals are specific, then it's going to be easy to measure them. To make sure that all of your goals are measurable, find a way to quantify them or put a number next to it. Then we have letter A, that stands for achievable. Your goals need to be somewhat realistic. I know that sucks. I know we want to live in a delusional land where we are millionaires overnight, but that's not how this works. However, when I say this, I don't mean that you need to think small and cap yourself. I still want you to stretch yourself a little bit when it comes to your goals, but think about your current situation and then think, what is a 25% improvement? What is a 50% improvement? Instead of thinking, what would 100x improvement look like? Since our timeline is 1 year, the year of 2024, then you should think between 50 to 500% improvement. That will be still a stretch, but somewhat achievable and realistic. Next, we have letter R, and that stands for relevant. Your goals need to be relevant to your life values. Let's say you set a goal for yourself to drop your body fat from 25% to 17%, for example, like athletes. Your goal is to look slim and athletic. But then if I ask you, what are your long-term goals, and they don't include being an athlete or competing in some sort of sport, maybe you want to be a mom 5 years, 10 years from now, then what would be the point to starve yourself and push yourself so hard to get that 17% when your long-term goals and values don't really align with that? Unless it's like your absolute dream to look a certain way and have a certain body fat percentage, then it's totally fine. But just keep in mind that your goals need to be relevant to what you want your life to look like 5, 10, 20 years down the road. Last but not least, we have letter T, that stands for time-based. In our case, it's very self-explanatory. We are setting goals for 2024, so our timeline is end of 2024. Throughout 2024, you're going to make sure to regularly review your progress towards your goals, measure your progress so that you can make the changes necessary in case you're falling behind and not quite getting there as fast as you want. Before we move on to the next topics of this video, I wanted to read the study for you guys. According to a study conducted by Harvard University, people who write down their goals are 42% more likely to achieve them than those who do not. So I don't want you to just set goals in your head and think that you will follow through with them. Write them down. It's very important. Already 42%, you're a lot more likely to achieve them. After you have set your goals, now it's time to implement new routines and habits so that you're taking this tiny little step every single day towards making those goals a reality. It can be tricky to become disciplined overnight or to implement routines that don't have an instant reward associated to it. So here's a trick for you. I learned about this technique from the book Atomic Habits. It's a really good book. If you're struggling with habits, you should definitely read it. But the author says it's hard to learn new habits. However, it's a lot easier if you associate them to your already existing habits, because there's things you do every single day regardless. You don't need to think about it, it's automatic. What if you associate those new habits you try to implement to those old ones? For example, let's say that you want to follow through with your morning routine. You want to meditate, you want to do your affirmations. In the morning, what is something that you're already doing every single time? Let's say you're having breakfast, you're brushing your teeth. When you're brushing your teeth, could you put a little sticky note on your mirror and read out loud some affirmations and affirm them to yourself in the mirror as you're brushing your teeth. Next thing, let's say you are having a breakfast after you brush your teeth. This is automatic, you don't think about it. This is a habit you have installed in your life. What if you associate a new habit to it? So while you are having your breakfast, you could be listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, something to implement more personal development and learning into your life. After your breakfast, let's say you're going back in your room to clean up a little bit and make your bed. And after you made your bed, take 5 minutes, sit down and do some breath work and meditate. Just like that, without really changing a lot about your existing morning routine, you have included whole 3 new habits to help you move in the direction of your goals. Next thing I want you to do is you really need to ditch that all or nothing mentality. Trust me, we are all guilty of it. All of us sometimes have a bad day and then we feel like, well, if I skipped gym today, then I can have some fast food and I'm gonna give myself a day off, and then tomorrow you wake up tired and sluggish, and it feels easier to continue with old habits instead of sticking to the new ones. But you don't need to have this all or nothing mentality where if you are not perfect, it's not worth doing at all. Trust me, you can be putting average effort, but for a consistent period of time, and it will add up to big, incredible results. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some slack here and there, but keep in mind your long-term goals. And remember, you don't need to be perfect because we're all humans. And if you try to implement a crazy change in your life overnight, you're very likely not to stick with it. Start small, reward yourself for even little progress, and build on that over time. Next thing that absolutely gonna help you is to surround yourself with people who already have what you want. You probably heard this a million times, but it's absolutely true. If you're around 5 millionaires, you're gonna be the 6th one. If you're around 5 athletes, you're gonna be the 6th one. If you're around 5 alcoholics, you're gonna be the 6th one. People around us impact us in very profound ways. Did you ever notice how sometimes you share some ideas and things you want to do with your life with your friends and family, and they're like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work, it's not worth it, it's too good to be true, and so on? Because trust me, people around you want you to stay as you are. They don't want you to change, because that might highlight their own insecurities, lack of progress and action. And listen, you can still love and appreciate them, but be selective of whose advice you take and who is in your immediate environment impacting your thought process and decision making. Now, this is probably the most powerful tool in my arsenal, thing that I used myself personally, and I read dozens of books on manifestations, on law of attraction, and they all say the same thing. If you start to feel like the person that you want to become in the future, you're going to become it a lot faster. You're going to attract people, opportunities, resources, tools, information, everything you need in order to make that future you a reality sooner. I call this technique act as if technique. It works like magic. In order to do this, you're going to start with just taking pen and paper, putting some nice meditation music in the background to get you in this very high energy vibration state, and you're going to start writing how you're going to feel, act and live in a year from now, when those goals that you have written down are already your reality. Think of yourself in December 2024 and imagine that every single thing you wrote is already your reality. You are making X amount of money, you are looking a certain way, you have a certain people in your life, you're feeling great about yourself on a daily basis. Once all of that is finally your reality, how are you going to feel? How are you going to live your daily life? What are the things you're going to no longer tolerate? And what are the experience you're going to seek more of? What are your daily habits and your routines? What are the things you no longer allow yourself to do as that person living that type of life? Write in as many details, and I want you to put the most focus on the feeling part. Like when you write down how are you feeling, describe in as many adjectives as possible. I'm feeling safe and secure. I'm finally feeling excited about my future. I'm feeling like I'm not a Once you have it all written down, now you have one job: to make sure that you feel like that future you as much as possible starting today. Right now, your job is not to spend hours and hours on reading books, researching information on how to achieve your goals, how to make more money, how to lose weight, how to become this and that. You're not gonna do this. It will manifest in your life as soon as you start acting as if. At first it's going to be hard, but over time, the more you do it, the better you will become at it. Every single waking hour, make an effort to feel and show up like that future self. Let's say you have a situation that is unpleasant. Ask yourself, that future you that already has achieved all of these goals, how would they handle it? How would they respond? Would they react this way? When you wake up in the morning and you have an option to stay in bed or to get up a little earlier so that you have enough of time to follow through with your morning routine, that future you that you're trying to become, what decision would they make? What type of lifestyle would they lead? What type of routines would they have? Would they allow themselves to sleep in? And maybe yes, you know what? Because even very successful people, I'm sure they have days off and I'm sure they're not perfect. But I know for a fact that they're fairly consistent and they are doing more and better than most people. As you're putting in this effort to try to feel like and show up as this future version of you, there's going to be people and situations around you that really force you to kind of get down from that high vibration state, make you feel upset and irritated. In such cases, there's two things you can do. You can either try your best to avoid these people or situations because they force you to no longer be that best version of yourself. Or second option, if you can't completely avoid it because it's your coworker or it's your maybe a sibling, I don't know, you can try to detach yourself, disengage, and ignore. At all costs, try to protect that energy that you have instilled in yourself. And what helped me the most is regular personal development, reading books, listening to these more successful people. Going back to the point that I said, you need to surround yourself with more successful people. Sometimes it's not that easy. If you're trying to become six-figure earner or a millionaire and you have huge goals and maybe nobody in your surrounding ever made this much money and you have no idea how you get in touch with these people, maybe they're not going to be in your physical immediate environment, but they can be in your virtual environment. They can be people you follow, they can be people you listen to every single day, and it's going to feel like you're part of their circle because they're speaking inspiration and life into you every single day through those audiobooks, podcasts, etc. And the last thing I want to say is sometimes all you need is to commit, to make a decision, and it's almost like overnight everything changes once you made that decision and you really decided, I'm not going to keep living like this. I am better than this. I deserve better things. I am no longer going to keep settling for less. I'm the only one responsible to provide a better life for myself because nobody's coming to save me. And just, it's like enough is enough. You're fully fed up and you're ready for more, for better. You won't let another year go by without any change. Sometimes it's all you need, just a mental commitment. If you're going to apply every single thing that I spoke about in this video, you're going to achieve your goals in 2024. I'm confident because I've used these things to achieve my goals and more. I didn't even think I could achieve so much. I have set a lot more humble goals than compared to what I actually was able to achieve. As you guys know, I haven't worked a job In most of my 20s, I'm living my dream lifestyle while working from home, working online, being able to travel anytime, and have a complete time and location freedom. And I've achieved this because one day I just woke up and I was fed up of mediocre relationships, of having my boss and my colleagues treat me less than simply because my position or my title in the company was lower than them. I knew my worth and I was done not living up to my fullest potential. And within 6 months, everything changed for me. In 2021, I went from broke student who had no skills, no degree, I had nothing to show for. I went to being a 6-figure online business owner with business in over 30 countries worldwide. I've traveled to so many new countries that I can't even count. And you guys, I hope this inspires you. And I remember in that transition period that was about a year long or so, I remember waking up every morning, closing my eyes, and imagining me entering my dream apartment, imagining me picking up my dream car from a dealership. And guess what? All of this manifested in my real life. So what I'm teaching you guys here really works. It worked for me, it worked for so many other people, because I did not invent it, okay? I read books, I listened to experts, I was committed to personal development, and I was also committed to applying everything I was learning. So as you finish this video, I encourage you to actually do this exercise, to do your homework, because you can spend hours and hours listening to YouTube, learning all this new stuff, but if you don't act on it, nothing will change in your life. Thank you for being with me. Follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok. Leave a comment if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.